I'm Chris, and this is my French farmhouse restoration project. Good morning all. Well, as you can see from behind me, the sun's out. It's a beautiful day. Come take a look. Look at this weather. Oh, look at that. It's pretty nice today. Already. I've got all the swallows sitting on their lines outside my place. So I'm going to get dressed and get on with the day. I have to set up an access tower today to do the remaining bits because it's a little bit too high. So I struggled a bit the other day. I sort of went to my limit on my ladders, but I have got a tower, so I'm going to fix that up now. I've just stuck it in the van. Right, first things first, I've got to get all these up here. I've got to try and fit these great big things through that little hole. So we'll do our best. It looks like they'll fit though. Right, well, I need to navigate my way around this a little bit. I've got to bring boards through there, and I also need this in the way to get to there, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge. I think I'm going to try and lift it back to there. Let's see how we get on with our access. Time I cut a couple of these down. These ones are the old twisted ones that I don't use on the outside scaffolding anymore. Let's just check out our access first. It's actually too high from the looks of it. I think I could go down one lower. Yeah, that's too high. Is it too high? I'm right on the limit there. I think I'd like to be one lower. That's better. Yeah, it's perfect. Ah, ça fait du bien. C'est bon ça. So I can just bring a board up, pop it on there, dunk, stick her in place, and we're cooking on gas. I've just arrived back from work and there are two farm dogs sitting outside my house. They're obviously not mine. They're very, very thirsty and very distressed because of the heat. It's over 40 degrees today. And one of them's a very old dog as well. So I'm going to have to investigate where they came from and try and find out how to get them back to their farm. Because in this heat, I don't think they would last too long, to be honest with you. Ça va? Ça va vous deux? Vous avez de l'eau? Et vous avez quelque chose à manger? Allez, tiens. Taswav? Hey, you're a very old girl, aren't you? You're thirsty there. Hey? You're very thirsty. Look, you're so old. You can't walk properly, you're that old. Come on, let's see if we can find out where you live. Huh? Where have you come from? You can't have come far because you can hardly walk, darling. Oh, and you're sitting there in the... You're just going to relax and sit there by the gates. Okay. Let's figure out where you come from. Right. I'm back at home very quickly to make myself a little bit of lunch. A quick chicken curry. And it's going to be delicious. Oh, they don't trim off all the horrible bits, which is a shame. Salt in the pan, not on the chicken. The chicken's going in. So nice cooking food that I grew in my own garden. I've got lots of tomatoes as well. So this is going to be quite an unusual curry. We'll see how we get on. See what we can do with it. Well, look at that. It's raining. I'm very, very pleased about that. It wasn't raining when I left the house, and now it is. And I'm not complaining one bit. Behind me, let me see, there are my tools. We're plastering, French plaster, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I mean, I've got to get on my work. I'm just plastering a wall. But lots and lots of people are curious about how that works in France, and so I will show you. I'll show you what tools we need. Let's have a quick look now. What tools do we need? What plaster do we need? And how do we do it? So first things first, you need a mixer, and it needs to be a good mixer, one like this, because it's going to mix up a large quantity of plaster, and it needs to have a certain end on it so that it doesn't put too much air into the plaster too quickly and make it go off. Next up is a bucket, 2 buckets as a matter of fact, one for mixing up in, one for putting water in so you can clean your tools and clean your mixer. Next is a hook. This one is very, very old. Look how worn out it is. I've had this hook for 20 plus years. For those of you out there that are obsessed with buying tools, I get it. Some people like buying tools, and that's fine. But just bear that in mind. I bought a Marshalltown. Marshalltown's a good brand. I bought a Marshalltown hook over 20 years ago. And I've used it pretty much every week of my working life as a plasterer since then. And it's a lot smaller than it used to be because I've worn the edges down. And I've never changed the handle. I know it's not a joke when they say I've had that hook for 20 years and I've only changed the top twice and the handle 3 times. It's not that. Nothing's ever been changed on that hook. That hook is as it was 20 odd years ago, and it still works absolutely perfectly. Anyway, on to other stuff. I have 1, 2, 3 trowels there that I use regularly. I have a corner trowel as well that I use not too regularly, actually. And I have my spray bottle, which will become very clear. You'll see why I need that shortly. There we go. Then we've got scrim tape That's the essential ingredient for plastering a wall. And finally, I've got lots and lots of these, but this is the one I picked up today. This is a tiny little, this is called a small tool. But this one's a French one. I've usually got Marshalltown ones, which look a bit different to this. But this is the one I'm going to use today. And you'll see why, again, later on, you'll see why. So these are all the trowels I'm using. And then finally, I've just got this old crappy brush. And that's just for cleaning all the tools and cleaning my bucket. And just generally, just a general kind of whatever brush. Right, let's mix up a wee bit of plaster first. For anyone who's of a certain age and has ever been to McDonald's, this wants to be, and we're talking French plaster, this wants to be the consistency of a milkshake, like a McDonald's milkshake. That needs just a little bit more put in with by hand. Oh, I'm gonna try and get that up there now. In a bucket that's not designed to be carried that way. And I'm not putting it on my shoulder while I'm filming. There we go. Voila. So first things first, we're gonna scrim tape this. I'm gonna put tape everywhere, across all the joints. Like so. So that it's overlapping the joint there. There we go. Whack it all over it. I've got a special appearance as well while I'm doing this. Do you want to step in and take a bow?
What is? That was a bow. How's it going, everyone?
Alfie is off work because he's managed to injure himself, but not at work. Were you at work?
Yeah, I was at work. I was at the builder's entrance.
All right, yeah, you weren't up on a roof though. You were stepping out of the van.
I stepped out of the van onto a rock and damaged my ankle, which is not good, but that's just part of working on work sites. Just like you cut your hands and
Yep.
damage things often.
Yep.
Which is a bit of a pain, but that's life.
That's life.
Yeah.
That's what people say. So I am just putting it all on at this stage. You don't have to. You don't have to be too particular when you get to this stage. There's certain techniques involved, like you've got to go left to right for a start, and you've always got to empty your trowel. That's why people get all covered in muck and drop tons of it, because they've still got it on their trowel. But you can put it all on first like that, no drama, and then once it's all on, you can just add a bit more and start filling in the spaces, and it becomes quite straightforward once you've done it for a little while. But there's a technique involved. Get it all on first, relatively quickly, and then once it's all on, then you can clean your tools, go back to the beginning and start refining it and making it smoother. And you should always start by taking it off the trowel like that, and then going straight up, straight back down again, up one more time, clean your trowel, and then finish it off. Once you get into a habit of doing that technique, you're fine. Some people just do it once, depends on the plasterer really, but some people just go up, down, off. But it's all about how you want to do it really, preference-wise. You don't even have to. If you want, you can just go, if you're new to it, you can just go like this. That's it. And then just wipe it off and go again. It's not quite as effective because you don't get it as even, but it's all about practice really. Just keep doing it. As long as it's all on there. Yeah. It's a good shoulder workout.
Perfect for arthritis.
Yeah. Great if you've got bad knees, bad hips, and worn out shoulders from all those years of plastering. It's the ideal job. One of the benefits of doing this is when it's done, it's done. There's no sanding, there's no dust, and if I get this wall on and it takes me 2 hours in total, then that is completed in 2 hours. There's no 2 hours to do it and then come back tomorrow and wait for it to dry, sand it, do another 2 hours, then touch it up a little bit if it's a bit low and do another 2 hours. Once this is done, it's done. Use one of these little trowels, like whatever you can get really, like a gauging trowel or little pointing trowel, something like that. And then just do a bit of butter it over it like that. You don't have to be too preoccupied with how you put this on at this stage. You just get it on there, that's the most important thing. I'm going to put the remainder over any low spots I can find. And then once you've got that first coat on, you can put a thin top coat over it like that. That slows down the drying process that everybody's so worried about. The difference between this plaster and other plasters in other countries is that this stuff does go off fast. So if you're already a plasterer of sorts, or you've done this kind of thing before, it does help because you don't get too long to work with it, and you need to know what you're doing a little bit. But if you don't know what you're doing at all, just don't do as much. Do a small bit at a time so you don't get out of your depth. And then as you get better at it, you can do more. Right, so once it goes off a little bit, you can start smoothing it out. There's all lines in it at this stage, but you can start to take all the lines out, and it doesn't happen in one go, it happens in several goes. So don't worry about getting all the lines out straight away. You've just got to do it bit by bit. So you do one first pass like so, with a nice clean trowel like so, and then as it starts to dry, you do another one and another one, and then we get to the next phase, which I will show you very shortly. Right, so that's that phase done, and we've got most of the lines out. You can see the lines disappear. I don't know if you can see that because it's white, but afterwards we're just gonna moisten it a little bit. That's where this comes in handy. And then we're gonna give it another trowel really gently, just to get the surface to start to get a film on it. And then we can start refining it. Like there's a slightly low bit, but look, we can go across it with the extra that's on the trowel and start filling it in. We're not in a hurry. Once we get to this stage, we can just play around with it. The trick is not to panic. Just keep going over it and don't let any of it dry too much. And all will be revealed. Look, you can see the more I work it, the less is on the trowel after, and that's a good sign. That means it's starting to dry. So you just keep going left to right, like that, because we're not just making it smooth, we're making it level as well. So you've got to kind of keep an eye on it and make sure that there's plenty of even finish on the plaster. And you can hear the difference. I mean, I'm saying it as if everybody will understand what I mean, but you can hear the difference as a plasterer. Plasterers will know what I mean. When you're going across the surface and it's ready, it's got a certain sound and there's nothing left on the trowel. Look, you're only pushing water into the surface and making it tighter. And you can see, it's very difficult to explain because you can't really see it on camera because it's so white, but I can see when it's level and when there's any little low spots, like ready for painting afterwards, if you're going to paint it. You don't actually need to paint this if you like natural finished white plaster. Just using the tip of the trowel, I go right the way to the edge, and then there's a perfect line all the way down the bricks. Ta-da! So there we have it. One wall completed. All the edges are nice and sharp. It's nice and smooth, and it's ready to paint should we want to paint it. But you can actually leave it this colour as well. I like that colour. It does go brilliant white. After a couple of days it'll be fully dried, and you can see it's dried on my hand. It goes brilliant white, but I like it natural finish. There's a few things to bear in mind. This is done, so you can go across it and you can feel that it's finished now. There's no soft surface left on it. It's best not to mess around with it anymore. You can do one more trowel over it if you're that way inclined to make it really smooth. However, if you make plaster too smooth, if you keep going over it and over it and over it, a few things will happen. One, it becomes impossible to paint because the surface is too closed off, so the paint will peel off. That's bad. And secondly, you're going to weaken it. If you push it on it too much and you compact the fibres in there too much, you run the risk of having big lumps of it fall off later on, and then you'll be like, oh, what did I do wrong? You did it a perfect job, and then you messed it up at the end by overdoing it. When it's smooth to touch and it looks like that, that's it. Leave it alone. And that's it. That's plastering with Chris the Plasterer in a French farmhouse cottage, in a French farm cottage, if you will. I'm going to carry on with the rest of this place in coming videos. So join me for that. Don't forget, hit like, hit subscribe, and there's a notification bell. Get the notifications, and then you can see me complete all the plastering in here in the coming videos. And on top of that, we've got my playlist as well. You can go and tap on the playlist to see all my previous videos. And there's the restorations at my place. There's the restorations at other properties. There's also my work that I do with Chateau de Lalande in there. There's some bits and pieces. And of course, there's my animals that live with me. in the garden, not with me. And it'd be lovely to see you all. Thanks ever so much, as always, for all your comments, your likes, and all your great input. And I really appreciate it. See you in the very next video. Bye for now.